Okay, so for those of you, just out of curiosity, maybe raise your hand if you've ever played the game Guitar Hero. All right, good. Well, for everybody that raised their hand, thank you very much for playing a game. So my brother and I are fortunate enough to have created the game Guitar Hero. And when I run across a lot of people who've played our game, one of the questions that they'll frequently ask us is, what inspired you to create the game? And you know, there were many inspirations, but one of them was when I was, a personal one for me, when I was younger than all of you out here. I lived in New York City, a suburb of New York City, and back then there was a band in the late 70s called Kiss. And Kiss was enormous in New York. They were a crazy band. You know, if you haven't seen them, they have face paint. They have, when they're on stage, blood comes out of their mouths. And when I saw that, I said, someday I want to be a rock star. That's what I want to be. And that was my dream. But unfortunately, like a lot of other people, I don't really have any real musical talent. So one of the inspirations, personal inspirations for Guitar Hero was to make a game that would let me and millions of other people live out their fantasies of being a rock star. So even though my first dream of being a rock star didn't come true for me, it led me down this path to create a game that brought joy to millions of people around the world because it let them live out their fantasies of being a rock star. And along this very different path that I ended up taking, there was some totally unexpected and completely wonderful things that happened, so many of these. And one of them was the game Guitar Hero ended up reuniting one of the more important bands in the history of rock and roll. So I think most of the people in this, or most of the kids in the audience anyway, are too young to have heard of this group called the Sex Pistols, but oh, maybe not. Okay, but you know, so you might have known that in the late '60s, this group essentially launched the punk rock movement in rock and roll. And crazy as it sounds, Guitar Hero reunited the group. But instead of listening to me tell you about how that happened, I'd like to play a little video that lets the band tell you the story of how they were reunited by Guitar Hero. So if I could have AV roll the tape.
Ha ha ha, you corny sods.
My favourite guitar is a white custom Les Paul. Like that, you mean?
Don't be shy about us, we're not. Guitar Hero. It's a new one for us to be now combined up with a video game, but this Guitar Hero ain't so bad after all.
I like it because my friends' kids like it, and I like what kids like.
The idea of doing this for a game is quite right, because I'm not very pretty, I'm certainly not vacant, and a bit of anarchy in a video game is all right by me.
Guitar Hero actually wanted to use the Sex Pistols because we've lost our masters.
Our record company has no idea where the masters are.
Someone's got them or sold them or stolen them or whatever.
Such is the legend of the Sex Pistols.
So it was great for Guitar Hero to, in a way, get us back in the studio.
It's just a threesome, me, Steve and Paul, which is how we recorded Never Mind the Bollocks in the first place.
Which a lot of people don't know is I played the bass on Never Mind the Bollocks originally.
Great Guitar Hero, Steve Jones. Yes, he is.
Glenn had left the band at that point, or he was kicked out, whatever way you want to look at it. And Sid was in a hospital with hepatitis, so he couldn't really play. Not that he could play anyway.
Re-recording them. What a stress you put on us. But we rose to the occasion, I think, admirably.
I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, but it actually turned out great, and everyone held their own.
So we're the best of the bunch. I like it. That's all I can tell you. I bloody well like this game, and I normally don't. Well, I like a lot of video games, but this one I really like.
Yeah, so crazy as it may have sounded, I never would have dreamed that, you know, when I was a kid in New York watching Kiss, that someday I'd be able to reunite the Sex Pistols in some small way. And one of the things I want to tell you today is for all of you to go out and dream big. And if your first dreams don't come true, that's okay. It happened for me, you know. But take those dreams that you have today and keep them close to your heart. Because someday those dreams that you have may lead you down a completely different path to successes that you never, ever would have imagined possible. So for all of you that are at TEDx today and all you kids, keep dreaming and rock on. Thank you.